As we track the Gulf, in fact, we're expecting Bertha by the time we finish up our Monday. Right now, it is Tropical Depression 2 strengthening in the Gulf. As we take a live look-see across the Gulf states this morning, we have some cloudy skies, but also waking up to thunderstorm activity over the Florida Panhandle. This is because of Tropical Depression number 2. So here's the latest. We just got the latest update from the National Hurricane Center as of 5 a.m. So we're at 35 miles per hour for the wind. Once we hit 39, it is officially a tropical storm, and the hurricane hunters are in there doing an investigative flight this morning. We are expecting this to continue to drift out towards the west, but there's a few questions that still need to be answered, and a lot of that has to deal with the strength and intensity of the system. We're going to have Craig dive into those details in just a moment. So to give you an overview, we're expecting this to strengthen into Bertha, and yes, we'll get more information throughout the day now that we're getting that raw data from the hurricane hunters. That's going to be important.
Yeah, a couple flights scheduled for later today as well to give us more in the way of different elevations, different levels of the storm. What we're watching right now is the time to be ready. Look how
I think this is the most important thing on a Monday morning. Like, when do I need to be ready if something were to go awry?
I mean, take a look at Wednesday. We're barely looking at places just now pour into East Texas. So that's how slowly things are happening, how messy this could be. Taking a look at Tropical Depression number 2. And remember, when we get to Tropical Depression number 2, now National Hurricane Center says, all right, these are the areas to watch. We are also waiting for some possible conditions to pick up as far as the winds. Look at where the center of this could be. This is the cone right now, and watch how it just broadens once we get into, say, Saturday and Sunday. But tell you what, Britta, we're looking at Thursday and Friday, and it's barely moved along the coast.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, we just showed you the earliest onset of conditions, and then this is the arrival of the center of that system. Again, with messy, unorganized tropical systems, you have far-reaching impacts because it's kind of like a sprawling amoeba more than a really tight, concise storm. 50-mile-per-hour winds is the max as of right now, but again, some of the details that Craig's going to go into greatly impacts how strong the winds could be. Here's the computer models, but it's interesting because the consensus takes it right into Louisiana. So that's the question here. Are we going into land, or are we keeping this over water? The heaviest rain will follow the track. So again, in this scenario, you need to be nimble because we're going to have a lot of changes with this forecast. Let's go into analyzing the current structure. So we do have some thunderstorms close to the center. That's really what we look out for at this beginning stage of a tropical system. The more thunderstorms rocking at the center, the more beef the system has. So right now, you know, it's a pretty measly tropical depression. We're being impacted by wind shear. We have some dry air as well, especially over Florida. Both of those are hampering this from getting too aggressive, but you can see those thunderstorms still blossoming, especially over the warm water, and that's what we'll have to look out for as we work our way through today, is that exposure to the warm water, and we're already seeing those outer rain bands on the Florida Panhandle.
Impressive. And when it comes to specific impacts along the Gulf Coast states that we've been talking about, there's still a little bit that's still up in the air. What happens over the next few days will largely depend on two factors: the steering mechanisms we've been talking about, and of course the intensity. So let's focus in and dive in a little bit more, give you some analysis on what we have here. Now, two setups when we're looking at the upper levels. Let's begin at 5,000 feet. We've actually got some pretty decent wind shear down on the southern side of this. Of course, Bertha with a question mark, likely going to become Bertha once we get to the end of the day today. What we look at is this area of high pressure just over portions of the Rockies into Texas and Colorado and Britta. Now we're looking at 20,000 feet with the steering mechanisms here. Which area of high pressure is stronger, this one or this one over here? And right now it looks like it's this one over here. Also, you look at how intense this is. If the storm is able to grow in height and tower up, the winds are likely to a lot more likely to grab onto the storm and help direct it, as opposed to a weaker storm.
Absolutely, and that intensity is connected to its exposure over water.
Right.
So right now the consensus model has us driving into Louisiana, less exposure over the water. If it stays down to the south, it's going to be driven by that ridge of high pressure coming out of the Great Basin, and that would put into question more impacts for parts of western Louisiana and also the Texas coastline. Look at the timing. That's Thursday p.m. So again, this is something that's going to be impacting the Gulf Coast states for almost the entire week, and it will be the heavy rain that we're most concerned about. Here's our tropical threat graphic. So again, highest between Mississippi and Louisiana, but again, if this core stays over the open warm water, which is plentiful. I mean, right now it's in the 90s.
Yeah.
So if it stays over that warm water, you could end up with a significantly stronger system. If I'm a Texan And I'm thinking about what does this mean for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? I'm not turning my back on this because if it stays over the water, that's going to mean bigger issues for Texas. Best case scenario, it goes up into Louisiana, which of course is a bummer, but at this point, we got to work through the rain anyways. It's going to be there.
Absolutely. And here's a look at some of the models. You're looking at the European and the GFS, and a lot of them still continue to bring it along, even south of Interstate 10, I guess let's call it that, right? The weaker system would go north over portions of the Gulf Coast states. Texas would be looking at something for a stronger storm. Also, when you look at some of the other models, especially the Google AI, also pretty much in alignment, and a lot of the forecast models are going off to the west. So that's something we need to pay attention to, because, Britta, when you look at these, last week we had the conversation where there were hints that we were going to start to see this, and what we saw over the weekend certainly turning out to be the case. Now, you'll notice within the red here, of course, if we're over the open waters for a longer period of time, to Britta's point, we have more fuel to work with, and that's going to give it a little more oomph. It's the rain that will be concerning, perhaps some of the waves and some of the water inundation, but the amount of rain that we get out of a system like this could be significant. It's something we'll watch closely for the next 7 days, because it is, in a sense, a slow-moving system. Of course, we'll wait to see what the hurricane hunters give us. We'll break that down in just a moment.
Well, along with some storm surge potential for the Florida Panhandle, coastal areas along the Gulf will have to stay alert for flooding and dangerous coastal conditions as we track what will become Bertha. Again, it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. So let's talk about these coastal impacts that we're concerned about. We do have watches and warnings that we're waking up to. So Tropical Storm Watch has been issued for the Florida Panhandle and coastal areas of Alabama. So if you live in Mobile, if you live in Pensacola, you guys are getting those alerts. Over in Mississippi, Biloxi, Pascagoula, you guys, it's just a matter of time. Really, this is all dictated by time. Right now, we do have winds coming in about 12 miles per hour in Apalachicola offshore. Those buoys are clocking between 25 and 30. So again, you know, we're just seeing some breezy conditions at this point. But if we do get a stronger system, of course, that's going to impact the amount of wind that we see. Moving forward, lunchtime tonight, we do have some winds that are picking up for the Florida Panhandle. We're going to bring in Michael Estime into the conversation. Michael, you've been watching this storm as it really got its act together this weekend. Yeah,
it sure did. Boy, quick and in a hurry. And you can see it right there. Apalachicola, 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts is what we're expecting by the time we get to later on this evening. But watch how this thing really begins to tighten up. You'll see those winds upwards of 40 miles per hour. That is tropical storm force winds. This, at that point, should be, by the time we get to late this evening into early tomorrow, Bertha, the next name on our list, and watch how it even further begins to not just tighten up, but you see that well-defined center of circulation. Look at this area right here that corresponds to 50 to 60 mile per hour winds around that center of circulation. And again, interestingly enough, guys, over the weekend and even today, looking at it, a couple of our forecast models keeping this as a tropical storm, others borderline hurricane.
With 90+ degree water temperatures, you have to include that in the conversation. But this could be a hurricane.
Absolutely. So you look at what the impacts here could be. And as we mentioned before, we have about a 200-mile stretch of coastline that it's under tropical storm watches as we speak. So again, it does include places like Slapchoppy, where current wind gusts right now at 43 miles per hour. In Apalachicola, we have a current wind gust of 39 miles per hour. That could lead to some storm surge, and you can see it right here. And guys, we all know what storm surge can do. It's not pretty, right? Especially in some of those inlets, up to 3 feet worth of storm surge. A couple of showers and thunderstorms right now toward places like Tampa Bay, and then up toward the Big Bend region, East Point, Port St. Joe included in that. Britta and Craig, we're watching this carefully. NOLA as well, going to see some impacts from this system as it continues to evolve through the day.